How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to Salvage Auto Rebuilds, where today, as you can see, we have got Brian's 1978 Plymouth Fury back from the paint shop. This thing is looking a whole lot better now, and I don't think we would have been able to do a good job like they did. So yeah, we've got a lot of work to do. As you can see, guys, there's all sorts of chrome pieces inside the car, and also in the back of our truck is a full set of interior for this thing. So yeah, looks like we've got quite a bit of work to do. So I think we're going to be starting with this, putting it all together and see if we can get this thing up and running and hopefully buttoned up today. So we still need to polish the bodywork because there's quite a bit of orange peel. It's not as prominent on the blue as well. So I think this thing is going to look just a little bit better once we get it polished up. I think only certain angles you can see it. Yeah, so I think let's get cracking, guys. I want to see if we can sort out all of the parts on the inside of the car here. Even got some coolant and some oil because the engine's oil was drained as well. So we are going to be replacing the coolant and the oil, making sure this thing is as good as it can be. Alright, so we've got 3 bottles of oil. Let's just quickly grab these. Alright, let's just chuck them on the floor over there. Okay, so that is sorted. Alright, so let's start with the first bit of parts here around the front of the car. So we're going to put the grille on, and everything on this car just pretty much snaps into place. So there's no bolts with most of the parts. So we're going to be seeing if we can get everything sorted. I don't know if the headlights are interchangeable. They might actually be, so it doesn't matter which one goes which side. Okay, so there's the other one over here. Right, let's get this one popped into there. Alright, that is looking like a car almost again at the front. Alright, so we've got a bunch of chrome as well. This is, I think this goes over here. Alright, let's go and pop that onto there. And then we've got the other side one over here. Okay, that goes onto there. And then we've got some blinkers. We just got to make sure we get the right ones for the right corners. So this one goes over there. Alright, and let's see what else we've got. This is the rear right one, which goes over here. Okay, this is front left. Okay. Yeah, luckily everything is kind of marked and looking pretty good once we get them in place. Okay, so there's the other one over here for the rear left. Alright, that goes onto here. Whoops. Okay, come on, let's just make sure we get it in there properly. Alright, just like that. Alright, we've got some door mirrors. Okay, so this one is for the left hand side. Okay, that also just pops into place somewhere over here. Just got to find the sweet spot for it. Come on. Alright, just like that. And there's the passenger side one. Can bring it all the way over here. Alright, so that is looking pretty good. Alright, well, definitely a whole lot of trim on this car. We've got some door handles for the doors, which we should be able to pop on. There we go. That's the first one. Alright, there's another left-hand side door handle that we can pop onto this door. Alright, so far we are making good progress, guys. This is actually pretty simple. It's just a matter of putting the whole puzzle back together. So they already mounted some of the chrome for us on the, well, on the underside of the car, on the rocker panels. And also they mounted this chrome over here for us because those are a little bit hard to get on. So I think it's just better that they did it for us. Alright, so let's get this door handle on here, which is the last one. And just like that, this thing is starting to take shape slowly but surely. Alright, we've got some fender badges. Now I can't recall exactly where these go. I think they go over there. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. Okay, this one is the small one for the trunk, so we'll wait with that one. Okay, let's start figuring out this trim. So each one of these should be marked. So this is for the front right door. Alright, so let's see if we can slap this one onto here. Okay, so that goes right there. Okay, looking good. Alright, and then fender chrome for the front right is this one, I believe. Let's just see if it wants to go on here. Yeah, that's a perfect fit. Alright, let's see what else we've got in here. Oh, we should actually put the the freaking handbrake lever in, because then this car could actually stay put, but now it's moving around a bit. Alright, this is our rear right door chrome. Okay, so that is now all of that installed. Okay, we've got some chrome over here that we actually need to get in as well. Let's just open the doors. That's for the right hand side, which is right over here. And then this one is going to go to the opposite side. Okay, let's quickly get this sorted out. Okay, just like that. Looking pretty good. Alright, this is also for the trunk. I wonder if I can pop it on like this. I should be able to. And even this one can probably... Come on, we just gotta reach it up there. Come on, come on. There we go. Okay, so that is... Yep, that is on. Alright, and then rear left chrome. It goes... Whoa, okay, that doesn't want to work out too well. Okay, let's just try this again. Okay, oh, there we are. Alright, this is the front left fender. Alright, yeah, this car has got a whole lot of chrome, guys. It is definitely quite a bit of a chore putting this thing back together once you take everything apart like we just did. But alright, so slowly but surely we are getting there. I do notice we are missing a little badge for the opposite fender, which is probably something that our contact didn't send with, or it might be in here somewhere. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Okay. Front right badge for the fender. Okay, so this one is going to go right over there. Alright, so yeah, crisis averted. Alright, and then we've got the antenna. I think the antenna goes on one of the fenders. Might be on the passenger side. That would actually make a little bit more sense. Okay, so that snaps into place over there, which is looking good. Alright, what else we've got here? We've got some more chrome bits over here. Can we figure this out? Or is everything on now? Wait a second. Yeah, I think that's everything. Okay, so that is just where the fuel lines run through the car. Okay. Alright, let's get this bumper out of here. This is the front bumper. Okay, for this we're going to need a wrench. Okay, so let's first of all get it into position like that. Okay, then we need to grab ourselves the wrench. Alright, so this bumper has got some carriage bolts at the front which goes through to the back. So we just gotta zip them down. Alright, looking pretty good. Alright, well, I think that is it. Looking pretty good so far. Unfortunately, the taillights and everything has got brand new bulbs in them, so our guy definitely sorted out everything for us. Alright, let's just zip this bumper down as well. Alright, just like that. And that is all of the trim and all of the chrome, all of the bright work sorted out on this car. So I think now we are going to start with the interior. And then we'll do the wheels and the engine and stuff like that last. So let's come over here and see what we've got. Okay, so there's our handbrake lever, which is actually the first thing I should have put on. So that this car can stop jerking about every time we put something on it. Okay, so this goes... Come on, just get the sweet spot. Right over here. And we can tighten up the handbrake so that the car can stop moving about. And then we've got our steering column. So all of the interior bits that we've got over here, I picked it up for a total of $2,000. So we are going to be able to get all new interior into this car, guys. And we decided to go with grey, because that was the initial agreement with our buddy Brian. So we were going to put in some grey interior. We've got some new pedals as well. Let's just get those in. Looking kind of decent. Okay, and then we've got our gear stick. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop this in. Okay, so that goes right here. Okay, there's the bolt for it. And now we need to start figuring out the rest of these things. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. That is our front bench seat. And then we've got our rear bench seat. Okay, so let's pull this out from the car. Alright, let's start with the rear seat. Alright, so there we go. Let's put this into here. Alright, unfortunately we don't have a parcel shelf for this car. I don't think our buddy was able to find one, because I think the original car was also missing one. So that's just going to have to do without it. Alright, let's get our front seat bolted down. So I think this one bolts down underneath the car here, which is a little bit weird if you ask me, but I guess it is what it is. Okay, let's go around to the other side and we just got to do the rest of the bolts up over here. And there we are. That is the interior coming along pretty nicely. Okay, now we've got the dashboard. Okay, so this is the lower part of the dash. Okay, so let's see if we can get this thing mounted. I think it's going to need a screwdriver. Right, so let's grab one of those. All right. And see if we can slide this thing in over here. All right, so there it is. All right, now I just got to find all of the screws. I think it's just this one over there, and there should be another one over there. And I think that is it for the lower part of the dashboard. Okay, where's our upper part? I think it's this one. All right, yeah, this is going to look pretty nifty. And I just got to see if we can get this thing into position. Right over there. And then we've got a screw right over there. And another one on this side. And if I'm not mistaken, that is our dashboard now fully mounted and bolted down. Alright, so now it's going to be a matter of figuring out which door cards go together, because we've got two pieces for each door. So this one is for the driver's front door. Okay, this is for the front right hand side. Yeah, I think let's just figure everything out here real quick and see what goes where. Alright, so this is also for the passenger side front door. Okay, let's see what else we've got. And did I put the handbrake up on the truck? Yeah, it is, but okay. Doesn't seem to be holding the truck very well. Okay, so let's see if we can just lean in and grab the rest of the parts. That's for the rear left. Okay, put that over there. That's for the rear right. Okay. This is our driver's side front door panel over there. Okay, this is for the rear left. Let's put it down there. And then last but not least, we've got this one for the rear right. Okay. So we do have got everything that we need. As you guys can see, we actually got our truck inspected. So I mounted some taillights, and we also got this fancy little decal for the back tailgate. So I think it actually looks pretty good now. And we also got the missing part of the interior that we didn't have. This one, it goes along the side over there. So that is also in place and looking pretty good. So our truck is pretty much perfect now, guys. Well, at least to me it is. So yeah, we've got our license plates and everything on. So that is pretty good. We managed to get that all sorted out. Alright, so let's start with the rear left door, since we are closest to it. Okay, so now I'm just got to find the screws where this thing actually secures to the car, because it's a little bit tricky sometimes finding these. So there's one there and there's one over there. Okay, the upper trim goes over there. Alright, and then as for the windows, alright, we need to actually pop the windows in as well. Let's maybe do all of the windows first. I think that'll work out a little bit better. Alright, so these are for our Dodge Challenger, and then we've got these. Okay, this is the rear left one. Just see if this is still going to go in, which it does. Okay, so that is good. Alright, let's do all of the glass first of all here. We've got our rear right. Okay, so let's put that into here. There we go. Alright, and then we'll do the front door windows. Alright, this is the driver's side. Alright, that can go into there. Okay, I must just keep a mental note on where I put the screwdriver, because we are going to need it again. Alright, let's put this one into our passenger side door right over there. Okay, looking good so far. And then we've got our windshield. Alright, so this can go in right over there. Okay, so far so good. We are getting there. And the last one would be the rear glass, which is this one. And we'll just pop it into there, and just like that, this thing is looking more and more like it's supposed to be a car. Alright, so there's our front driver's side door panel. Let's get this thing buttoned up. Okay, and then we can do the upper part as well. Okay, pop that onto there. And let's just zip it down. Alright, driver's side is looking pretty good on this car. Alright, we still need to work on the engine and all of that, so let's just leave the hood open for now. Alright, let's get our lower door panel onto here. And just zip it down. And then this one can go onto there. All right, just got to make sure we don't miss any of these screws. And that is our passenger side front door sorted. All right, let's do this one. I think this one goes at the top over here. Okay, there it is. Okay, 2 screws. And the last piece of the puzzle for the interior would be this part of the door card, which is zipped down over there and right over there. And just like that, all of the trim, all of the chrome, all of the interior is installed. So I think what we are going to do next is get these wheels mounted. All right, so we've already got our angle grinder ready for the polishing, because we're going to be doing that as well. All right, let's get this jack up under the car here so that we can swap the wheels. All right, grab this, put that into there. Let's lift it up slowly but surely. All right, just like that. I think that's high enough. Okay, now we're going to need our wrench, which is over here. Okay, so let's get these wheels off of the car. So as you guys can see, I've actually been doing a couple of things off camera as well. We managed to get the other tires that we took off the wheels for our Dodge Challenger. I actually mounted the tires on the other rims that we had laying around, because we had 3 rims that were from the customer's 1975 Firebird. So he put the tires onto those rims, and then the one that came with the car was also a 15-inch, so we just slapped it onto this corner. So yeah, we've got some more backup wheels laying around the shop, guys, which is always a good thing. Alright, let's continue with Brian's wheels. Okay, so these ones have got the high wall tires on. So I don't know what we are going to use these for, but you know what, it's a good thing we are keeping them around, and at least it's better to have them than to, you know, have them and not need them than to need them and not have them, if you know what I mean. Alright, so there we go. That is Brian's wheels put back onto his car. I actually think the red works pretty nice on the tire on the side with the blue paint. So it's kind of, you know, one of those true American cars. Alright, so let's get this under here on this side and just swap out these 2 wheels on this end. And I think then this car is going to be another step closer to being complete. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove this one. Alright, and slap this one onto here. Alright, so that is 3 down and 1 to go. Alright, so there's our last wheel off, and let's get the last wheel mounted over here. And yeah, these wheels actually suit this car pretty well. It's definitely a nice touch, a finishing touch for this car. Alright, let's get these wheels out of the way real quick, and we are going to lower this thing down. Alright, now it's sitting on its own 4 wheels again, and it is looking a whole lot better if you ask me. So let's have a quick look at this thing. Yeah, I mean, just look at that, guys. That is if that isn't a screaming true American, yeah, I don't know what it does, but okay. Alright, so now the last thing that we need to do to this car is to get the engine mounted and the exhaust pipes, and then put some fluids in it, and hopefully when we turn the key, this thing will fire up. So we've got some brand new battery cables and a battery and a fuel line over here, which is also going in the car. So we need to get this mounted for us to get the engine into place. Okay, so let's put the wires on. Okay, let's do this first of all. Okay, zip that down on the starter. I think that's the only place we can bolt it down. So it looks like the ground is just kind of clipping on there. Okay, then we'll grab the battery from here. Alright, put the battery into place. And then we'll just zip down over there and over there. And that is at least now powered again. So now we can grab our fuel line and just bring it closer. Okay, put this down over there for now. And right now what I need to do is see if we can get this engine put back into the engine bay. Alright, come on, let's grab it. Make sure we've got a proper hold of this thing. Okay, and let's just lower it down. And now we are going to go through all of the bolts and make sure we bolt them all down. Starting with the engine mount over here. Alright, so that is the first bolt bolted down. Now we can do the rest of these. Alright, transmission, ground wire, and alternator cable. Okay, so that looks pretty good on this end. Let's come around to this side, and we are going to get this engine mount bolted down over there, and then this over there on the transmission. And I think that is all of the bolts now secured on this engine. Let's just make sure our radiator is still bolted down properly, although I didn't take this thing out. Just inspected it and it looks pretty good, so we don't need to do anything about the radiator. And now we can just get our fuel line into place. I just gotta find a sweet spot for this, and there it is. And now let's just zip it down there. And I just wanted to check the gas tank. The gas tank is nice and secure. I did check that as well off camera, so it's looking pretty good, guys. So now we need to grab our exhausts over here. All right, these two mufflers. This is for the passenger side. All right, let's see if we can get this under here. All right, there it is, the first one. Looking pretty good. Yeah, look at that. Nice and shiny tip coming out the side there. Yeah, these exhausts actually look the part on this car. All right, let's grab the other one here. Just bring it a little bit closer at least. And then we'll see if we can get it under the car here again. All right, let's see how this works. All right, so there's the exhaust. And that should be it, guys. I think this car is now completely assembled. I don't think we miss anything. So the only thing that I'm going to do now is, let's first of all just check the oil, make sure it is empty. And the radiator should also be empty because we drained the coolant when we took the engine out. So yeah, we've got a teeny tiny bit of coolant laying in the bottom of the radiator there. So let's go ahead and get this thing filled up with all of the fluids. Brake fluid still looks good. We'll just double check all of the brake hoses and stuff quickly while I'm, figuring this all out. And then we are going to bring you guys back once we know if this thing's going to fire up. So yeah, let me quickly sort this out and we'll be right back. Alright, so there we are. That is all sorted. So we've got oil in the engine and we've got coolant in the radiator. So I think everything is pretty much buttoned up now, guys. So I think before we continue, let's just quickly see if this thing starts up. It's going to take a while to start because there's probably some fuel that needs to run to the carburetor first. And just like that, she fired up, no problem. Alright, let's go ahead and try it again now and see if it starts up easier. Yep, right on the money. Alright, well, I must say I actually love the sound of this engine, guys. It actually turned out pretty well. This car is looking a whole lot better and it sounds just as good as it looks now. So yeah, we've got a little bit of cleanup work to do, but I'm going to be doing this off camera as usual, guys. It's definitely not something I want to make you guys watch me do. So yeah, the last thing I want to do quickly before we can take this car on a little bit of a test drive is just move my truck out of the way. So let's go ahead and fire this whole beast up. And yeah, I actually like how this truck looks, guys. It actually turned out pretty well with the plain white paint job. Alright, we're just going to take a nice wide turn because this thing is a little bit of a, it's a big chariot to turn around. Alright, let's just park it right in the spot here. Okay, looking pretty good. I think that is fine. At least our door can still open, so I don't want to block the doorway here. And yeah, these parkings could have actually been extended a little bit longer, but yeah, it is what it is. It's fine. It works. Alright, so I think let's quickly see if we can take this thing just around the block. I want to make sure the brakes are working, which I actually didn't check the brake lines. Let's just quickly check that, guys. Let's grab our wrench. Alright, let's see. Alright, so this one should be bolted down right over there. Okay, and then we do all of these. Just see, that is looking good. Alright, let's do this corner real quick and just check it out. Okay, that is nice and tight. That is nice and tight. Okay, around the other side. Gotta make sure we've got these all bolted down like we should. Okay, that is looking good. And the last one, let's just check this. Alright, where's the brake line? There it is. Okay. Yeah, everything is nice and tight. So I think we shouldn't have any trouble. Alright, so let's get this thing fired up again. Alright, and then we're going to just take it around the block, see how it runs, and make sure everything checks out with it. Yeah, this thing starts right up on the money. Alright, let's get this thing out of the yard. Alright. Well, let's just take it around the block quickly and see how she does. Yeah, actually sounds pretty mean. Oh, she gets all of the gears, so I think it's pretty good. Alright, well, I think we can park this car in this parking spot we've got over here. Seeing as we are done with it, I actually want to, polish the bodywork first, so maybe let's not do that just yet. We're going to get this back into the yard, and whoa, this thing is a powerhouse. Alright, let's just stop it here again. Alright, well, I think this is definitely a very nifty old car, guys. It's definitely quite a bit of a cruiser if you ask me, but I think it's packing quite a bit of a punch if you wanted to do some maybe like drag races or stuff like that with this car. Alright, well, I think let's do this, guys, and get this car polished up everywhere. It's going to take me a hot minute, so let's maybe cue some music and get this thing looking as good as it can. Alright, I think that is looking a whole lot better, guys. We did a proper job at polishing this thing up, I believe. It doesn't look like there's any more orange peel on it. And I think our flashlight actually helped quite a bit to see a little bit better what we are doing. So I think this car turned out absolutely amazing. So now we can finally get this thing moved out of our yard, because we are going to be painting our Dodge Challenger over there next. So I do not want to risk getting any overspray at all on this thing. So let's just go ahead and pull this thing out of the yard. Alright, and yeah, let's put it in the parking spot right over here next to our truck. Yeah, in between the truck and the Camaro. And I think we are golden, guys. This thing turned out pretty well. So we've already been paid in full for this job. So yeah, I'm actually quite happy that it's done now. Which means we are going to have a little bit more space for more projects and maybe even some more customer jobs, which will be great. So there we go. That is a very beautiful looking 1978 Plymouth Fury, guys. Alrighty, so let's get cracking on our pride and joy, which is this 1970s Dodge Challenger, guys. Now this thing, we did the primer work in the last episode, and we did sort out a couple of issues on the suspension off camera. There wasn't really a whole lot going on with the suspension that needed our immediate attention, so I think it's going to be good enough. So now there's another thing that I went ahead and done already, guys. Now you may notice this big yellow box here, and you know what this means. This means we've got ourselves another brand new engine. So what's going to happen with this engine is it's going to be torn apart, and we are going to be sending all of the parts in for chrome plating. So yeah, this is also something we want to tackle today and make sure we get it sorted. So there it is. It's just a box standard V8, guys, but I was thinking of maybe getting some performance parts to go with it, just to make this thing look a little bit brighter. So I'm thinking of going with the triple carbs again on this one. I'm not going too crazy with it just yet. Although if you guys maybe want to help me out with this one, do you guys think we should go supercharger on this thing? I don't know, but that's going to need a whole new hood then. But yeah, do let me know in the comment section. We could definitely still, you know, change it to a supercharged V8 at some point. So I don't know. You guys let me know. But yeah. So we also did run a poll on the YouTube channel about which wheels are going on the car. So we've got the 5 stars, which I had a brief look at. And then we've got these Mopar wheels, or Dodge Coronet wheels with the chrome hubcaps. And we ran a poll, and the winning vote was we are going to go with these. So yeah, I think that is going to look pretty nifty. Man, just look at that shine on that hubcap. Man, you can see everything around us. Yeah, that is actually pretty cool. Alright, well, for now, we're going to keep these far away from the car, because we are going to be painting this Dodge Challenger up first of all. So let's bring our air compressor out here. And we're just going to put it down right here. We should be able to reach everywhere with this. So I'm not going to bother with stripping the engine out just yet, because at the moment, yeah, we've got a new engine that's going to be going in this thing. Alright, so let's get ourselves our paint gun. Okay, let's open this drawer. I just want to grab this real quick, and let's put our angle grinder back in the toolbox. Alright, there we go. Trying to keep it somewhat neat and tidy around here. Alright, so now we've got 3 cans of paint, which I used some of it already when we painted the wheels, because I definitely wanted to see what the wheels look like. And I also took a picture of it for you guys and edited it in the previous video. Okay, can we just get this? Holy moly, why can I not just get this damn thing in here? Okay, well, there we go. Alright guys, well, let's start shooting this thing with this green paint, and I think it's going to look absolutely epic once we get the clear coat on this thing. So now we're going to try our best here and cover this thing as good as it can be covered with the paint. And we got to paint everywhere, so yeah, well, I guess let's maybe cue some more music, and we'll turn on our flashlight, because then we can see a bit better. Alright, so let's turn on some more music for you guys and get this thing painted up and see how it turns out. Alright, I think that is job done, guys. We managed to get this thing painted up in this beautiful green. So, yeah, now we just gotta wait for the paint to cure before we do the clear coat. So, it is Saturday today, so we are gonna give it until maybe Monday to cure. And then by Tuesday, when we are back with the next episode, we will be able to paint this thing in clear coat. So I think that is gonna work out pretty well. So now there's not a whole lot of stuff that I can really carry on with, guys, because we kind of finished all of the projects that we are busy with, and seeing as this thing is painted now, we need to cure it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to maybe put the engine up on the stand here and just tear it down, and then, yeah, just get it ready for its chrome plating. So all of the parts are going to be sent over to our buddy who's been doing all of the chrome plating for us. So let's get this thing up on the stand here and see how it works. Alright, so we need to undo this. And over here, yeah, fancy little crates we are getting these engines in. Alright, so let's put this thing up onto the stand here as usual. And actually think the orange would have looked pretty good in the engine bay, but I think we are going to do something a little bit more custom, because I don't know exactly yet what I'm going to be doing with this car, guys, but it might be one of those cars that we also send off to auction, but I'm not too sure. We'll decide, because at the end of the day, this car was a donation, and we don't really want to make too much, money off of a donated vehicle. But at the end of the day, we need to start saving up quite a bit of money, because I had a little bit of a look around and poked around at the shop that we had a look at in the last episode, and it turns out that the property is up for sale. It's just a little bit way far beyond our reach at the moment. They are asking a total of $250,000 for the place, which is going to be quite a lot of time to save, if we do it that way. But maybe if we get lucky and we auction the car, maybe we can actually make some decent money. That's why I kind of want to make this thing look a whole lot better than just, the boring old Mopar engine under the hood. So we're going to make it look a little bit more flashy, and hopefully we'll attract a very high paying bidder at auction. So yeah, that's maybe one of the things that we're going to have to do here. Alright, so let's get this intake manifold off of here and the thermostat housing. Okay, so that is pretty much all of the parts being separated now. We're not going to worry about spark plugs, because the spark plugs can stay in the head, and also the these headers need to come off, because they are going to be probably chromed. So we are going with a green and chrome, but also maybe crossed with a little bit of black design on the engine. I think that'll look pretty dang nice in the engine bay. And oh, I really loosened that one. Okay, let's do this one as well. Okay, so we don't need to take the rockers off. Okay, there's our valve cover. Yeah, I might get some different valve covers, because these are a little bit plain, and I don't know if they can really do anything about the, the oil cap over there. So we'll see. Maybe a new set of headers. Okay, and with our either supercharger, whatever you guys are gonna, let me know down in the comment section what I'm gonna do with this engine. We'll see what colors we are gonna go with and sort everything out, but I'm gonna try and make it look pretty neat and tidy. We don't want to go too crazy with too much green chrome and stuff like that, but we'll see what we can get done here, guys. Alright, so we already loosened those. Let's just loosen this up over here, our first cylinder head. Okay, so we don't need to take spark plugs out. We don't need to take the rockers out, because those are fine. They can stay put. Alright, so there's a head gasket. It's brand new still, so we could probably reuse the head gasket, which will be great. Okay, let's go ahead and take this cylinder head off here as well. Okay, a couple of bolts here. Alright, yeah, I actually love working on V8s. They are just one of those engines that you put together, and you get the satisfaction when it all comes together, and once you put it back into a car and you turn the key and it actually fires up and runs like an absolute dream, then yeah, then it makes it all the more worthwhile doing it. Alright, there's our head gasket, and let's just put that over there. Okay, let's just not kick the parts around here. Okay, we can probably take the alternator belt off. Let's just set that down over there. Okay, and now we can take the alternator off. It's just 2 bolts over here. Okay, there's the alternator. Let's get the cooling fan off. Although I might actually replace the cooling fan with a bigger one, the one with more fins. Because these ones, I don't know if they do sufficient cooling. Especially if we are going to be, you know, supercharging the engine. Potentially, I don't know. It'll be up to you guys to tell me what you want to do. Want me to do, rather. But yeah, there's our water pump. Looking pretty good still. And everything is brand new on this engine. So everything is going to look pretty good. So let's just go ahead and take this pulley off. I don't think we're going to go crazy with coloring pulleys and stuff like that. But we'll see what we do. Alright, there's all the harmonic balancer. And I think now we can probably... Yeah, let's take this off over here. There's our oil filter. Okay, and then a fuel pump can come off over here. Alright, come on. There we go. Alright, yeah, sometimes the parts are a little bit stuck. There we go. That's our fuel pump off. And now let's maybe... Yeah, let's get this off. Alright, so our ignition coil is coming off. And this can also be customized a little bit to make it look a little bit better. And now back here we are going to take off the pressure plate and the clutch plate and the flywheel. Which, yeah, I don't know, you don't really see this once the engine is back inside the car. But I think if we just do a little bit of extra work to this thing, make it look a little bit better, that'll be great. Okay, there goes the clutch pressure plate. Alright, let's do our... Oh, there's the clutch plate. Okay, let's leave that over there. And now we're going to strip off the flywheel real quick. And then I think the next part would be the timing cover or timing chain cover at the front of the engine. Okay, let's get into this. Luckily it's just 4 bolts, so it's pretty simple. Alright, so there we go. That's our timing chain cover. And did I just nearly freaking trip over this jack? Let's just put that over there. Okay. Timing chain, let's yank this off. Alright, all sorts of parts coming off this engine. Okay, the camshaft can stay in the engine block because I don't think we're going to bother with that. Alright, and then that is going to need a pry tool. Okay, so let's take the... I don't know if this needs to come off. No, that doesn't need to come off. Okay, so we can actually leave that on. Alright, let's just take the oil pan out. Well, off. And then I think the pistons and even the camshaft or crankshaft can stay in this engine. Because, I don't know, the chrome plating doesn't really entail, you know, having to do internal parts of the engine. So I think this will all work out. So there's our oil pan and there's the engine block, which is now stripped as far as we need it to be for them to do the chrome plating. So yeah, guys, there we go. That is our brand new V8 engine stripped and ready to be sent over for some chrome plating and some custom coloring. I know I usually just call it chrome plating, but it's like a whole custom color thing that you can do to the parts. It's not necessarily always a chrome finish, but yeah, we can definitely do a little bit of custom work to this and make sure everything's going to look pretty nifty and pretty nice once it goes into the engine bay of our old Dodge Challenger here. And then I'm going to order a bunch of new parts. We're going to check all of the parts as I take them out. Maybe we can tackle this in the next episode because I doubt the engine will be back by, you know, the time we are going to be stripping this engine bay. So we'll see how it all works out next week, guys. So yeah, I think that is going to be a wrap for today's episode. It has been quite a bit of a busy one yet again. And actually so happy that we managed to finish Brian's car finally. Because it's been a long time coming for those of you who really know the true story behind that car. So guys, thank you all so much. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this episode. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I will appreciate that very much. And then I will see you all in the next one. So cheerio for now.